How is this Mercury retrograde and all these eclipses and new moons and all these things? How has it been treating you guys? Where's my other boot? Dude, this last 2 weeks, the last month, but the last 2 weeks in particular, intense AF. Oh, I opened my garage already. Wait, did I? Oh shoot, how long has my garage been open? Apparently I left my garage door open for God knows how long. I don't know. So, what was I saying? It was super intense. And on all fronts, relationally, physically, although, you know, we're used to the physical symptoms and ailments. Right? If you know, you know. Emotionally, mentally, like, whew, it was really intense. I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad or anything like that, because if you're going through chronic illness and you're trying to heal it with the mind-body approach, you already know every day is, you're in the trenches. Every day is a grind. Every day you're at work, just perpetually uncomfortable, 24/7. But I'm talking like crazy stuff was going on. Has it been crazy for you guys lately? Have you guys been feeling the cosmic nudges and pushes to, you know, let me put my gloves on. Have things been coming up for you? Have your kids been going a little nutso? My kids have been not belligerent, but everyone's just emotionally heightened. That's what I've noticed. Everyone is emotionally heightened. Let me put these gloves on. Okay. So I'm gonna go pull some freaking weeds, because my weeds are crazy right now because of the spring weather that we're having. The rain, the sun, so they're going wild. And I just need to clear my head. Because, Lord, you guys are nuts. Anyway, yes, please let me know in the comments if it's been a little chaotic for you too. I'm always curious about that. But I wanted to log this message here because I have been on this recovery journey for over 3 years. It's been a glorious 3 years. Over 5 years total with chronic symptoms that are debilitating enough. If you know my story, I was in a wheelchair at one point. That was really fun. And then I had a kid while I was chronically ill, but I knew about the mind-body approach, so I was acting normal, you know, going to all my appointments. My body was still freaking out, and I had to tell my doctors, you know, that was the weirdest thing. I think we should all talk about this. The people that have been on this, they know about the mind-body approach. They know this is the issues to their symptoms and these sensations and things. The doctors have no idea what the heck you're talking about. So you're going in, if you have to go into checkups and stuff, you're going in knowing that this is happening and knowing what's going on with your body. That is an autonomic nervous system, hyper alert, hyper vigilant nervous system. But you're feeling terrible, but you're trying to act normal. And then you're in the medical field where they have their protocols that they have to follow. So you just look like a crazy person, and yet you're suffering, but the doctors can't really help you. Yeah, that was a whole thing. I'm sure that'll come up as more people learn about the mind-body approach and they apply it. But then, you know, things come up, like they get pregnant and they have to go to all these appointments and the body's freaking out. You know, it's just, I don't know. I'm still going through it. I'm still making sense of all that for me. And this was almost 3 years ago now. My daughter's almost 3. So anyway, I wanted to log this quick video because I was thinking about it. And I know that especially in the TMS world, the resolution to symptoms is to get back to living your life, which I agree 100%. It is to get back to living your life. Absolutely. But I personally think that if your body is still freaking out and you're still like you're gaining symptoms and you're adding symptoms and you have like over 30 like I do and did, or like Mindful Gardener Helmet right here, or all these other people, like those super chronically ill people that had more than 1 to 2 symptoms, that had more than back pain, that had more than, you know, whatever, dizziness. I think that when it is chronic with a bunch of symptoms, like especially neurological ones, I think you have to it is clear that you have to make changes to your life. like external changes. And I know some people might not agree, because I also know people who have fully recovered and they had a bunch of symptoms and all they did was know about the mind-body approach, and they healed quickly just by the knowledge alone. And even though they had a bunch of symptoms, sure, okay, fine. Those people may not agree with me, but I feel like if this has been prolonged and you haven't made physical changes in your life, then maybe that's what you have to do. Because I shared this story a little bit before. I had chronic vertigo. No, it wasn't even vertigo. It was like full on loss of balance. Like this was when I first started college. Stressful time, makes sense. And I was really hard on myself and I was super overachiever. So I brought all of those, the perfectionism, all, like grind hard, push hard stuff to college. And college was overwhelming, especially if you're in the University of California system. We are on a quarter system and it's really intense. Hi. So, what was I saying? Oh, so yes. So back in college, I couldn't balance. I was dizzy, but it was a different dizzy. I couldn't balance on one leg. I would just topple over. That was freaky. And I remember going to the physical therapist and he was like, balance on one leg. And I did. And I just fell over and he just looked at me like, what the hell is wrong with you? But nothing showed up on my tests. And I was young enough where I wasn't really scared. I didn't really, it didn't really bother me much. I could still ride my bike. I could still, oh yeah, I went to Davis. So we rode bikes everywhere. I could still do that. I could still attend my classes I could still drive. I could still do everything, but I was I didn't have balance, but I wasn't scared of falling. That was the difference. So that just resolved on its own. Within a month, I just remembered one day I was like, oh, I know. I just pushed it in the back of my mind and it was gone. The losing balance, dizzy, whatever, equilibrium issue was gone, just like that. 5 years later, this was when I got married, which is also a stressful time. It doesn't matter, right, with your nervous system, if it's a positive stress or negative stress. I would say getting married was a very positive stress. A lot of emotions, and it was very celebratory, and it was stepping into a brand new life with the person that I love the most, So the vertigo came back, but this time it was pure vertigo. It was so dizzy. But I wasn't losing balance. It was just the dizziness. And so did the same thing. I wasn't scared, wasn't concerned. I was just oh, I kind of had this. I remember having this back in college. So then I got an MRI, got cleared, went on about my life, didn't care. And just one day I noticed, oh, it's gone. It was just like that. So I would have been a 2-time TMS success story person. I would have been a 2-time TMS person. Success story person from those 2 incidences, because it resolved. I went about my life. It resolved. That's what TMS is, right? Tension binaural syndrome. But I didn't. The life went on. I had kids. It got more stressful. Work got more, figuring out your career and working at a job you're not satisfied with, and the daily grind, and personality issues were amplifying, taking on too much, overextending myself, hustle, go, keeping up with the Joneses, all that stuff. And then bam, 5 years ago, December 2019, perfect freaking storm. Actually, I think I got COVID. I personally think, because it did kind of start off, I think there's a lot of things that happened at the time. We went to Disneyland. If you follow my story, you know this already, but I'll just preface it here. We went to Disneyland, went on a roller coaster, the roller coaster, California Adventure, and I remember coming off of it and I was super dizzy, like unusually dizzy. But then it went away the next day. Now I know that was pushing my allostatic load. My allostatic load was already so high with life stressors. But I know that pushed me over the edge a little bit. And then I think I got COVID. I do. Because I was starting to present mild viral symptoms a week or 2 after that. I think that also pushed me to the tippity top end of my allostatic load. And then bam, everything just went haywire and crazy. So I say this all because now I'm over 3 years in with the mind-body recovery journey, and I hadn't made major external life changes. And now, especially with this retrograde, it has been becoming clearer and clearer and clearer that I had to stand up for myself in certain relationships, that I was accepting emotional neglect in a lot of areas. I was diminishing myself in a lot of areas to keep the peace, right? All you people pleasers, to keep the peace. I was feeling neglected and abandoned and not seen and not heard in my most important relationships. And I thought that I was the problem. And I was blaming myself, and I was doing all this inner work to change myself, to, because that's the thing, right? When you start going to the neuroplasticity, to all this inner child work, you change yourself. But what was surprising to me was that I kept doing the work, but I was still running into issues. I'm still dealing with chronic symptoms. And I was like, okay, what is happening here? Okay, body, what are you freaking telling me? And it turns out what it has been telling me is I have been settling for breadcrumbs. And if you're watching this, this might be what has been happening with you. You have learned to blame yourself for other people's feelings and to diminish your own feelings and think that you're the problem and think that it must be me. Oh no, like people who have issues, okay, I need to change myself. It must be me. Yes, and also no. It is you because you're involved, and what you emit out into the world, it does tend to come back. Yes, I agree. It does come back to you. It's reciprocated and reflected back to you. However, what's also true is you need to recognize where your needs are not being met either. And especially in your most important relationships, if you're feeling neglected and abandoned, especially after you recognize your worth, inherently, you have a deep knowing that, oh my God, yes, my needs do matter. I am deserving of love and attention. And this is an exercise that we do, right, with mind body stuff. If you step into your higher self and you embody her and you ask yourself, your highest self, hey, are my needs being met right now by my most important relationships? She'll tell you. Your highest self will tell you if it is and it isn't. And if it's not, you have to stand up for yourself and do it kindly and respectfully because I'm assuming you love these people that you're in your important relationships with. And you have to communicate that, hey, I'm feeling this way. I need to share it. And if things don't change, I have to put my well-being first. And I've been hearing this message for a long time, and it was still going past my head. It was still going up, it was still going above my head because I had not recognized that I was still following that pattern, that I was still blaming myself for everything, for an issue that takes two people to resolve, because that is how it is. We are in relationship with each other. But your needs do matter, and it needs to be communicated. You have to stand up for yourself for your first time, girl. You have to reject blame, self-blame, and self-betrayal now, because now your body is your body's screaming at you because it's you have been self-betraying this entire time. And now I need you to listen because you deserve better than this. So that has been the glaring message through this. Well, there's been a lot of messages, but through this retrograde and specifically, it's your needs do matter. And if you're not feeling like your needs matter, you need to make changes so that your needs matter. And that may mean having tough conversations. That may mean leaving environments and relationships that they can't, they can't reciprocate. And it's not anyone's fault. It's just where people are at. But if you're if your body is screaming, it's like you need to move. You need to start making these changes. You need to empty your allostatic load. You need to start living the life that you want. You have to start living an authentic life to you. So especially if you've been in the same environments for decades, maybe it's time to leave them. Respectfully, not like, you guys I've outgrown you and, this isn't good for me. It's so toxic. No. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. I mean, you can, but I don't think that's going to help much. But you gotta assess these things. And I swear this little exercise helps. Step into your higher self and just ask, what would she accept right now? What is she doing? How is she living? And do the little things that you've been doing, are they aligned? Action. Do they align with your higher self? And if the answer is no, well, there you go. Then you got to take action. You got to make changes. You got to shift. You got to pivot. Because your body is like, we're not having this anymore. We're not taking breadcrumbs anymore. We're not self-betraying. We're not neglecting. We are not going to continue to enable a relationship that is clearly not working for both partners, or both people, whoever the relation, all of that, whoever you're in relationship with, family, significant other, work, all that stuff. You need to make changes. And it kind of happens organically when you start to recognize that you haven't been taking care of yourself, and then you start taking care of yourself. Little action, little things. You don't have to turn your life around 180. I mean, it's possible, but you don't have to do that. You just make little shifts. Step into your highest self. Ask her, what would she do? Is this aligned? Is this what she'd be doing? And then go from there. So yeah, that's what this Mercury retrograde has been sharing me. So it's been a lot. It's been heavy. I just started my period too, which has been fantastic. I actually love when my period comes, because then I'm like, okay, I knew it. I knew I needed to rest. I knew I needed to slow down. I follow my body now. So I'm going to go pull this patch of weeds right there. De-stress. Fold laundry, because folding laundry is very relaxing to me. Relax. Take it slow. Take it easy. And I wish the same for you. And yeah, you got to assess your life. And you got to make changes, especially if this has gone on for so long. You got to make changes. Look at that. This is why I'm a big proponent for doing yard work while you're recovering from chronic illness through a mind-body approach, because look, this is the perfect, this is the perfect symbolism imagery for the journey. It is so messy, but what you're doing is you're getting in there and you're pulling out all that doesn't serve you. You're pulling the weeds out of your life. You're pulling the weeds out of your heart and your mind. And it's messy and it's ugly and it's gross, but you know that what you're doing is great because you're cleaning your up. Oh man. Oh, look at that. Oh, the camera's working. Fill that to the top. That is wild. So yeah, and then practically speaking, what goes through my mind when I'm doing stuff and you're uncomfortable because of symptoms, I literally just take a pause, I breathe in all the good, breathe in the new program, breathe in self-worth, breathe in wholeness. I know it's so woo and it's so lame, but honestly, if you know, you know. This is all intentional. Everything is intentional now. You're not living your life on a someone else's program. It's yours now. You're creating an authentic life. So I'll breathe in the new. Exhale all that doesn't serve me anymore. Exhale the old program. Exhale self-betrayal. overextending myself, all the things. Like I literally go, and I know that I'm exhaling every mindset that has been poisoning my body and has been putting it on high alert. Every toxic thing. Has now left. Sounds dumb, but you know what? This is real. So that is what we'll do. All right, you guys, have a lovely weekend, day, week, month, year, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you again.